Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the electoral process. I've heard your feedback. Keep it under 10 minutes. I'm going to do my best. We'll see how it turns out. So, first off, we'll figure out how presidents get elected here in the United States. So let's take a flashback to the 2000 presidential election. Al Gore was a Democratic candidate. He ran against George W. Bush, who was a Republican candidate. Now, if you look at this table here, you can see that Al Gore got the highest amount of votes. However, if you've been studying history even a little bit, George W. Bush won the presidency. We're going to investigate how that is possible. Something similar happened in the 2016 election, in which Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but Donald Trump is obviously the president, right? It's the same kind of deal. So first off, we're just going to fly through this. This calendar is from November 16th, or excuse me, November 2016. And essentially, what this means is that the Tuesday after the first Monday in November is election day. You had it off of school last week. It's the Tuesday after the first Monday. In November 2016, that happened to be the 8th because the first day of the week was, or the first day of the month was a Tuesday, so to wait the full length of time, so the Tuesday after the first Monday, which was November 7th. Alright, so the electors will meet over a month later. They'll meet on the Monday after the second Wednesday in 2016. That was December 19th, alright? So it's always the Monday after the second Wednesday. This gives time to make sure everything's settled. So the president of the Senate is the current vice president, right? So Mike Pence right now is the president of the Senate. We'll talk a little bit about his role in the Senate a bit later, but it's nothing too crazy. The current vice president will count the electoral votes on January 6th, unless that's a Sunday, right? On January 6th, unless it's a Sunday. The president will take office on January 20th. So there we go. Easy. But in election season, you are not voting for the president, right? Or your parents. When you go to vote for president, you aren't choosing the president. You're merely picking the people who vote for president. So each candidate on the ballot for president and vice president is going to be represented by a slate or by a selection of electors that pledge that they will vote for that candidate if they are chosen by the people. So these electors are going to be selected at a party's convention. So the Republican Party convention or the Democratic Party convention, they'll be selected or through appointment by a party leader. It's kind of an honor, so it's to recognize their service and dedication to their party, or sometimes someone with a personal political affiliation with the candidate are chosen, right? So these are people who are going to be diehard party members, people who might be connected to the candidate in question, right? So usually you wouldn't expect one of these people selected to ever vote against what the population wanted. Alright, so here's a picture of the Electoral College map. Now, here's where things can get a little bit confusing. To win the presidency, you need to win 270 electoral votes. Every state has a different number of electoral votes. If you win one state, if you win the population in one state, let's take Illinois for example, you get all 20 electoral votes. So if you win the state of Illinois, you get 20 votes. And in total, you need 270 to win. 270 to win. That's a majority. The total possible number of electoral votes is 538. um, 435 members of the House of Representatives, 100 senators, plus 3 for the District of Columbia, gets you to 538, right? And you need 270 to win. Virginia has 13, right? So it's not a whole lot, but it's a significant number, right? 13. So as I was saying before, in all but 2 states, the electors are selected or elected on a winner-take-all basis, so that the winner of a state's popular vote will receive the state's entire number of electoral votes. Now, this is going to lead candidates to campaign more in more popular states, but they still have to pay attention to these small ones because they might make a difference. So let's go back here real quick. You've probably noticed California over here to the left has 55. That is a big number. Texas has 38. That is the second highest. These are going to draw attention of the candidates. Pennsylvania, 20. Florida is a big one, 29. New York, 29, right? People are going to want to win these states because they have a higher number of electoral votes. Now, in a very close race, people in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, what have you, their votes still count, right? Their votes still count. So it incentivizes the candidates to campaign in less popular states as well. So people like to make predictions. For example, in the 2016 election, off to the right, here's the projections. This is what people thought the map was going to look like. Unfortunately for Hillary Clinton, very fortunate for Donald Trump, this is what actually happened, right? He won more states than people thought he would, right? He won more states than people thought he would. Yeah, and therefore he was victorious. For example, this one on the right, the projection had Hillary Clinton winning Florida, right? That's 29 right there. Had her winning Pennsylvania, that's another 20, that's 49 just between the two. Had her winning Michigan and Wisconsin, right? And you see how this starts to add up, right? You only get a few states that you think you're going to have, and you end up losing. So here are the states broken down by what they typically do, right? Everything in dark blue is solidly Democrat. Everything in dark blue is solidly Democrat. Just the populations there tend to vote Democrat. The light blue, they're usually Democratic, but they switch back and forth. The yellows, they're highly contested. Virginia is one of these highly contested states because they could go either way any given election, right? So these yellow states are sometimes where the most fierce campaigning happens. So Virginia is kind of weird in the sense that our law requires that the electors that are chosen to vote for the candidate to whom they are pledged. It is not like that in every state. Alright, so that was it, as pretty much as fast as I can go. If you go on to Achieve 30,000, you can find the article Picking the President completely before reading poll, read the article, do these summaries, and complete the activity in the after reading poll. After that, you are good to go, and I'll have more instructions for you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I kept it short. I don't know. All right, but do your best on this Achieve 3000.